Need to move around?
I was gonna say, I think I could swap around for this one. Yeah, I will. Let me throw my chair on the other side and then I'll.
Are we moving or?
Just gotta get on the,
I'm just gonna
You
say
need to
over
turn
there.
around.
and then you'd be,
Okay.
This one really good.
Okay, I have to be quiet.
All right, it is past 5:30, so we will go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let me get on the right file here. I'll call the order roll call, please.
Crum,
Here.
Grant,
Yes.
Dean.
Here.
Gaston.
Yes.
Here. Edmund.
That's okay, because it's just, this is what
They can
they're
see
seeing
us.
on our,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm just gonna pull that one up.
Oh, okay.
Terry?
Did you say something? Oh, I thought I heard Harry.
Oh, no, not yet.
I heard this.
That's okay. I appreciate you were ready for an answer though.
Do we have to wait for that?
No, we can go ahead and proceed with that item on this one. They'll join us for the 6 o'clock meeting. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall in the entryway here in the library. It's also available in pamphlet form, and if you follow the link listed within the agenda. Tonight, we're gonna be joined, or the majority of this special council meeting will be the Zoom presentation by Bobby Petty and Doug Christensen, and they are with the 5 rule planning regarding the vacant property registry program. Thought I was repeating myself, but I'm not, it's really written that way. Hi Bobby, hi Doug, thanks for joining us.
Can you guys hear me?
Hello,
There we go.
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So, just to orient myself to the room, it looks like you guys are looking at my face, but I'm looking at the back of your head.
Yes.
That,
As
Am I
long as
seeing
you're
that right?
comfortable with it, yes.
Yep, that's correct.
okay. Okay, so, when you get ready to ask questions, I might have to adjust the microphone to make sure I can hear you okay.
Okay.
April, thank you for introducing us. I'm Bobby. This is Doug. You might have figured that out. We offer the vacant property registry program. So our company is in Kearney, Nebraska. I grew up in Myrna, Nebraska. 300 people, like just on the edge of the Sandhill. And then I grew up in do community planning now. So I have a master's degree in planning, but we focus on small towns, communities, 5,000 and below. So I apologize for putting the name rural in the business. It's important because planning is often associated with like urban areas or cities, but we focus on rural planning, farm communities. Turns out it's a really difficult word to say. So someday maybe I'll fix that or rebrand when I get around to it. I don't know. And so I started the business in 2018. Before that, I did planning for the military department. I was in the National Guard for the state of Nebraska and worked full time. Then I worked with the city of Kearney and oversaw the building department, development services, planning and zoning. Then I worked for a development district, so you guys are part of Panhandle Area Development District. I worked with South Central Economic Development District. Burned through a couple more planning jobs and then finally just decided to open my own shop in 2018. And that seems to be going much better. So we do community and economic development consulting. Some of our clients are long-term economic development, like we serve as their economic developer. We also do like one-off plans and studies, housing studies, comprehensive plan, draft your zoning regulations. And then what I'm gonna talk to you about tonight is we offer vacant property registry administration. So in 2018, the legislature passed LB 256, and that made it legal for communities to create a vacant property registry. Before that, we had no enabling legislation to allow us to do that. So now, what our program consists of is the city passes an ordinance, the city engages with the Vail law, so we only use one attorney to administer the vacant property registry, and we'll get into why that's important. Once you pass the ordinance, engage with Sevilla law, and then appoint us as your administrator through a resolution, we create the registry. So properties that go onto the vacant property registry are properties that are not occupied, that were built to be occupied. So commercial or residential. The owner gets notified once the property goes onto the registry, and then for 0 to 6 months, there's no charge for the property to be on the registry, there's no fees assessed. To back up a little bit, once we've identified a property and decided to meet all the criteria, we notify the owner that their property meets the criteria. And then we give them 14 days to register. If they don't register after 14 days, then we register on their behalf, essentially. Because if they are vacant property, and they choose not to register, then the old fine of $100 a day comes into effect. So to not do that, we register the property for them as the administrator. Then once the property is on the registry, then the clock starts ticking. So for 0 to 6 months, there's no fee assessed or anything. After 6 months, we assess the first fee. For residential, the maximum allowable fee you can assess is $250. For commercial, the maximum allowable fee you can assess is $1,000. If we are administering your program, we will strongly encourage you to assess the maximum fees. Then, the fee double and adds on. So again, at month 0, nothing is due. At month 6, if you are a commercial property, $1,000 is due. If you're a residential property, $250 is due. And then fees are assessed every 6 months. So at month 12, if you're a residential property and you didn't pay your first fee, you now will owe $750. Because you owe $250 for the first 6 months, and then the $250 will double and add on to $750. And it carries on that way, up to 10 times the original fee. So after we get so far into it, it's just $2,500 every 6 months. The way that we administer the program, and the reason that we utilize the available law, is that fees that go unpaid, we will assess a lien against the property for unpaid fees. And then eventually, so we've been doing this in Dinkelman since 2018, and so we have quite a bit of data and experience. And we just decided the other night that the sweet spot is right around 2.5 to 3 years. Around that time, if you're a house, we will have lien roughly $3,700. So when we get to that point, that's when we start to foreclose on the liens. Eventually, the property will go to auction then, and sometimes we have a private individual that wants to flip a property that does show up and buy the property. If there's nobody that's interested in the property, then the cities will end up with the property. If you have a CRA or a CEA, we would like them to be the one that ends up with the property, and we can help you set that up if you've never worked with like blight substandard studies or tax increment financing or utilize the CRA or CDA, then we can help you with that, but we'd like you to have that body available. When we administer the program, and also coming from Myrna, Nebraska, so Doug goes on about to tell the stories of being a kid in Myrna, Nebraska, walking to school, and like Aunt Edna died, and then Leota died, and then Kenny and June died, and then nothing's happened with their house. And so 1994, I'm walking to school in Myrna, vacant house after vacant house after vacant house. And then after a while, you have to ask yourself, what does that make you think about your community? And then what does that make you think about yourself? And so when we administer the vacant property registry, we have an end goal in mind to see something happen with these properties. So we want the properties either to be occupied or demolished. And that's the way that we operate the program, with an end goal in mind. So we charge, I know you're probably wondering that, what's this gonna cost? We charge $6,500, I think. That's what I said. And it's a flat fee, and we assess it we charge you every quarter for setting up the registry and administering the program. If we become your administrator, Doug would visit you every 6 months. So he'd report to you on a 6-month basis. These are the properties on the registry. These are the properties that have unpaid fees. These are the properties that we can assess liens on now. So we come to you every 6 months with a status update. But we would send you a report every quarter. After the first year, then we would reassess our contracts. So we are your administrator for a year at a time. At the end of the first year, maybe we ended up spending a lot more time on your community than I had budgeted for. Or maybe a lot of your properties got off the registry right away, and we only have a couple of properties we're managing, then we would reduce our fees. So there's the administrative fee of paying us. Honestly, we're probably the cheapest of the costs you're gonna incur. When you engage with Savella Law, the attorney that will be representing you is Drew Graham, and he's out of York. He's a municipal attorney, represents numerous communities across the state. You'll pay $1,000 when you sign the engagement letter with him, and then he'll generate your ordinance and your other documents to get you started. Then you'll only pay his hourly rate when needed. So if you guys are like Sutton and Skylar and everybody in Crawford is lawyered up, and we get hot, what did Doug say the other day, hot phone calls, we get hot calls from lawyers. When a lawyer calls us and says they're gonna sue us, we say, that's great, I'm so glad that you have a lawyer. Now your lawyer can talk to our lawyer. And so when Drew returns the call, then you pay his fee. When it comes time to assess liens, you will pay for Drew's time to assess the liens. We think our process is very efficient because Drew knows that we are doing all the necessary notifications as required by law. So when it's time to file a lien, he knows our process and that we've gone through the steps, but he will be the attorney that files the lien. And then when we get to the point that we're gonna foreclose on the liens, Drew will be the one that leads you through that process. His billable rate is getting up there, it's around $320 an hour. But I'm willing to pay good money for a municipal attorney that's gonna get something done. And so if you check with some of the communities that we work with, I think you'll hear that he's very efficient and effective. I don't know if your city attorney is in the room. I don't know if there's any lawyers in the room. One of the biggest frustrations, so working for the development district and doing nuisance abatement, and then just trying to work on dangerous buildings in general, a big roadblock I often run into is the municipal attorney, the local attorney. They don't specialize in municipal law. They're pretty busy anyway, or 7 times out of 10 they have to conflict out because they have some connection to the property owners. So we think it clears up a lot of issues just to bring a lawyer with us. Our lawyer will travel. But we don't want to go around your attorney. So if your attorney doesn't like the program, then we don't wanna do it, because your appointed attorney, your municipal attorney, needs to be a partner. We don't want them to be somebody that we're working against. We tried that in one community and that was real painful. So, which direction do we wanna know? What questions do we wanna go? What questions might you have?
I think just to start off with, I wanna clarify, you said the 6,500 is due quarterly and not annually? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, quarterly. So the first quarterly payment is due when we execute the contract, and then every quarter after that.
Okay.
It's a quarter of 6,500. It's billed quarterly.
Oh, so
The first one,
6,500 is the annual rate, but it's billed quarterly?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cause I understood
Yeah,
that,
that's
but during the
Good job,
first
Seth.
meeting that you guys said, so then I sold it as that. And then tonight, as you spoke, I was worried it was 6,500
Instead of being
quarterly
28,000.
for, to be a total of a lot more than 6,500 annually. So, thank you for that clarification, so, I
Yeah,
just split
No,
quarterly.
yeah, total.
No, that's okay, thank you, that helps a lot with that clarification. And then the next question that came to mind, the more that I thought about it after, the initial presentation that I witnessed through our land bank meeting, was as you assess the fines, to residential and business properties, how are those fines processed? Are those fines that you guys retain and use to help you, make more process with more properties, or do those fees and fines go to the city?
So the payment, the check would be made out to the city. They can pay it direct to you, or they can mail it to us, and then we would record in our database, but then immediately put it in the mail to you guys. If they do pay it to you directly, then we would just ask if you could, send us a scan of the payment method or something, just so we can, record that. But all payments would be going
Okay.
to you.
Okay, we're super excited about this, and this all sounds extremely wonderful, and I'm still looking for the part that I'm not thinking of, so my apologies for being hesitant or, feeling like this feels like the perfect answer to something that we've been looking for quite some time, and how unusual that we could afford it. But yeah, that was one thing I thought, well, maybe they get to keep the fees, maybe that's why it's so affordable, so thank you for the clarification on that.
I have a question. So how do you, do the first go around of, I mean, you can't get every vacant property all at one time. Do you do it by sections of the city? Are you looking for us to give direction on that, or do you come in and do a review of all the properties in the city and make a list?
We start with your list of inactive accounts. So your residential utility accounts and your commercial utility accounts that have been inactive for a long time, that's where we start. So in the beginning, when I was very conservative, if your utilities are on, you didn't have to be on the registries. We have since changed that. You need more than just your utilities on to be off the registry. But most people, turns out not all people in Nebraska, but most people do not occupy a house if there's no running water or electricity. So that's what we start with. And then Doug will come to Crawford and sit down with the clerks and whoever else and discuss the circumstances of each property. For instance, if the owner of the vacant property is right next door, not really worth fighting over, we would just like to have them replat or something. Maybe it appears vacant because of the utility, but there's some other circumstance, or maybe after you visit with Doug, other properties will come to mind. Another decision we made in Binkelman, because Binkelman has more than 50, we are doing 10 at a time. So it's up to you. We're not gonna section the town off. I would like you to start with the lowest hanging fruit, like the properties that everybody in the community knows has been empty for a long time, and it's sort of like a morale killer. And a lot of local owners will usually get off the registry right away, and maybe they just haven't realized how hard that is on the community to leave a property vacant. But owners, like where the owners are just, we've had situations, where we've had the most success, where I think where we have proven that we are needed the most, the owner is deceased and no next of kin has any interest. The owner is mentally ill. We found an owner in a homeless shelter one time that just drove away from his house. The owner is in prison. Maybe it's a landlord that can't afford to fix a house back up. So those circumstances where you know the landowners are long gone, the property owners are long gone, or they just don't have the means to do something with the house. Because once we assess a lien, now we have a financial interest in the property, and now we have a lot more power to make something happen. That was a long answer, but basically, I think I answered it. I think I answered your questions.
So we have
It's
some
up-
problem. Go ahead, Doug, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's up to you guys' discretion, as far, you don't have to do the whole town at once.
We have some properties that are actively on sale, and I see on your guys' list that, as long as they were being sold and as long as it didn't circumvent a certain amount, that then they would be off of it. A lot of these properties are overpriced. How do we go about putting the pressure on these? And they've been open for, some of them as long as 5, 6, 7 years. On the commercial side, I'm looking at, is what I'm looking at.
So the law said that if a property is listed for sale, it cannot go onto the registry. Our ordinance, the law does not, but our ordinance, we took the liberty of defining what for sale means. And so we say that it has to be listed, an active listing with an agent, so I need to be able to Google the property online and find it. And then it cannot, the purchase price, it cannot be advertised as more than 125% of its assessed value. We have not been challenged on that. We define that on our own, but that's the rule we've been sticking to, and so far so good with that.
How was your taxes assessed this last year?
Well, you know what, we're all over the state, so we're down in Dundee County, we're up in Cuming County, Buffalo County, Furnace County is way behind. Furnace County is another town, they're way behind on their assessment. Buffalo County is pretty close to 90% below market rate, so it will depend a little bit on how your assessor assesses properties, but still sticking with 125% of the assessed value.
Many of our properties have been, we just had our assessment go through this year, and they've doubled on some of these, so. I was just curious.
Yeah, you know, I get the yellow postcard from the assessor and they're like, oh, your house is nice, your taxes are going up, and I'm like, screw you. And then like, next year, oh, your house is so nice,
Yeah.
your taxes are going down, and I'm still like, screw you, so, not helpful. I know that's not helpful, but that's how I feel about property tax assessment.
So once we decide to go forward, if we decide to go forward, how long, we need to give you a listing then, or sit down with Doug and get a listing? How soon can you get started on this? How long will it take to get started? Are we looking this summer? Are we looking next
Well,
year?
First thing is you sign a contract, because I don't wanna sound like a jerk, but I don't wanna work for free. So you sign the contract first. Once you sign the contract, then when you get the list together, then we will get up to Crofton and get it going. So,
We're not in
the
Crofton,
thing that
it's
will be in the
Crawford.
way, huh?
We're not in Crofton, it's Crawford. Crofton and Crawford are two different spots.
I'm so sorry, Crofton is a client too. So, if I call you Crofton, I mean Crawford.
I know what you're talking
I know you're a long way, I know you're in the Panhandle, I know you're clear the hell up there, both of you are kind of close to South Dakota, in my defense, but, you know, I know you shouldn't do that, I know you shouldn't mix up towns, but I did need the founders of the state to get a little more bit creative when they're naming all these communities. I may call you Clarkson too, and I apologize for that. But I know you're Crawford.
Another thing that had come to mind, the more I thought about this and setting it up and how we determine which properties are appropriate to be on this registry and how we determine which ones qualify. I'm not I'm not sure how many communities you've run across that have an RTS or a ready-to-serve, fee. So, a property in our community doesn't have to have a building on it, but if they have water services up to their property, then they pay a ready-to-serve fee monthly. So that is, it's a different utility than just the regular utility of serving water and sewer. So I'm not sure if you guys have come across that yet, or how that impacts assessing whether a property is vacant, or how we assess, to put it on the registry, because there will be properties that have vacant lots on them that have a ready to serve. Many of them that are problem properties don't pay that ready to serve, so that's part of the problem. But there are some that are vacant that are paid.
Vacant lots or vacant houses?
Both.
So the vacant lot, Newman Grove does that too. If the service runs by your lot, you have to pay for the service. If it's a vacant lot, it's never gonna come up for us, it's not gonna be an issue.
Correct.
If they're paying that base rate, if they're paying the ready to serve, but it's a vacant house, then we can still put it on to the registry.
Okay.
It has to be residential or a commercial building, correct? It can't just be a lot, I mean, a
Well,
lot
yeah,
isn't it?
all-
Right.
Right,
Right. Empty lots don't need to be on the registry.
Right, yes, and these are buildings, like when I think about it, these are buildings that were built to be occupied. So a grain bin, no, that's not, a metal machine shed, probably not. But like a downtown business, a retail business, a commercial business that was served by utilities, a lot of times we get, well, it's not vacant, it's storage. Well, if it wasn't built to be a cold storage facility, then I'm not buying that, I'm not doing that.
Thank you, Bobby,
That's
for
probably the
continuing to
biggest
say the
thing.
right things.
Go ahead.
I said, thank you, Bobby, for continuing to say the right things.
I'm telling you, I've thought about it a lot before it became, I had nothing to do with passing the law. But once it was passed, I was like, let's go. And I will tell you, we've cut our teeth. We have learned some lessons along the way. There's probably still lessons to be learned in Crawford. There's probably exciting circumstances that you have that we never would have thought of. But we're plugging away. I keep the price low. I keep it affordable because coming from, well, not really western Nebraska compared to you guys, coming from central Nebraska, but being raised by a Sand Hills rancher, I understand and respect private property rights, and I also know how quickly this program can be misunderstood. And so I probably care about this program the most out of all the services we offer, but I keep the price low because if something happens and you decide you don't want to do it anymore, I don't want you to be such a big client that I have to pressure you into it, otherwise I'm gonna lose too much money on you.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I
Well,
want to keep the price as low as possible.
right. Well, thank you for loving it enough that this program even exists, because I know we're not the only rural community where maintaining and adding additional workloads to our very small, already, employee base is even an option. So we certainly appreciate that people like you care enough about rural Nebraska and rural America to create these kind of programs and offer these services, so thank you.
Can you tell us
Well,
some,
thank you for your interest.
can you tell us
What?
some success stories that you've had in Nebraska?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna tell you my favorite, and then Doug, you can tell me your favorite. I'll be thinking about Doug's. My favorite is, Icky House in Arapahoe, Nebraska, hole in the foundation, owner, give me just a second, my two-seater cord fell out. I'm in Neely right now, talking to you guys. Guys, sorry about that. I'm also a real person, I'm not like a consultant, I'm like a consultant makes it sound like I have my ducks way more together than I do. Anyway, my favorite story is Arapahoe, Nebraska, and mind you, we do a lot more for Arapahoe, so we were prepared, but It was the Icky House, a block off of Main Street, so Highway 283 goes through Arapahoe on your way to Kansas. Hole in the foundation, somebody had bought it with the best intentions and then fell in love and moved to Norton's. We put it on the registry, we kept doing the liens, he kept ignoring it. The liens went up to $7,500, he called me, owner called me one day out of the blue and asked what it was gonna take to get rid of the $7,500 lien. And I asked him if he'd sign the property over to the CRA in Arapahoe, and he did. And so we ended up with this nice corner lot with this Icky House. And really, the only cost that we had in it was our fees for setting up the registry. So he signed the property over, we waived the $7,500 lien. At the same time, Shannon is her name, she started baking, she's a farm wife, ranching wife, started baking out of her kitchen, wanted to grow her baking business. It's called Cakin, C-A-K-I-N, Cakin Care of Business, if you wanna look her up. She was looking for somewhere to put in a commercial kitchen, so she could stop being cottage industry and start to sell her baked goods wholesale. Could not find a commercial kitchen that she could afford to buy in the area. So we have this nice corner lot, not nice corner lot, we have this corner lot with this Icky House. She and the CRA made a deal. So the CRA sold her the lot for $1,000. She waived her right to TIF, tax increment financing. The CRA paid $1,000 and demolished the house and cleared the lot for her. She didn't have $11,000, she had $1,000 for the lot. After they paid the $11,000 and cleared the lot, sold it to her for $1,000. The part of the deal was she was gonna have to put a commercial building on there within a year, which she did. So, where this Icky House sat on the corner lot in Arapahoe, there's now a bakery called Cakin Care of Business where she does, I don't know if you guys have ever gone to Fat Dog's, convenience store, but she's in the process of getting her products into Fat Dogs. But, instead of having this little house that just makes you feel depressed when you look at it, and a drain on the community, that house is gone, a new commercial bakery is there, there's a little event venue attached to it, and that's probably my favorite success story so far. Okay, Doug, you tell them yours.
Well, my favorite one would be, in Hampton, there's this old commercial property in downtown Hampton that, was changing hands between various LLCs and estates. And, so through the vacant property registry and then also Savala's work on the title, this commercial property ended up in the hands of a local owner who started a restaurant there, and so that's the loading chute there in Hampton. And so every time I go over to Hampton every quarter to do their update, swing through Hampton and have some delicious food. I know it's not direct, but it's indirectly somewhat the fruit of my labor, to eat there at the loading chute, in Hampton. I think they even won a restaurant tournament in Nebraska a couple years ago in their food quality.
Tournament of Cakes, it was called.
Awesome. Well, we're running into our meeting time, but I don't know if does anybody else have any other questions? I'll open it up to the public just really quick, just in case somebody has something that we haven't maybe covered. Does anybody have a question that they'd like to present to Bobby or Doug that we can squeeze in really quick?
Apparently not.
Well, you guys did a wonderful job
Thank
explaining
you.
everything. I'm sure we might come up with a couple other questions, but we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me present to the city of Crawford.
There we go.
What's yours? Lightning.
and take a motion for adjournment for a special session. Dean in a second. Gaston, roll call.
Dean? Yes. Gaston? Here.
Thank you. Adjourned at 6:07, thank you. We'll move on to the regular council meeting. Go ahead and call to order. And roll call, please.
Okay. Frank?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Edmund?
Thank you. We have quite a few more, so we'll go ahead and proceed with everything. We'll observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. There's a copy of the Open Meetings Act that is posted in the entryway of the Crawford Public Library. It is also available in pamphlet form, and if you follow the link on our agenda. Okay. We'll go ahead and start with our consent agenda this evening. We've got quite a few listed, so you'll be patient with me to read through them. A, approve the March 10th, 2026 and March 24th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. B, approve the SDL at the Rodeo Building at 16 Main for the annual Old West Trail Rodeo fundraiser, 3 p.m. on April 25th of 2026 to 1 a.m. on April 26th of 2026. C, approve Faye Hughes' resignation letter from the golf board. D, approve advertising for a golf board member. E, approve adjusting Missy Sucre's wage from $20 per hour to $18.50 per hour and raising Gina Lemons from $15 per hour to $16.50 per hour per recommendation of the golf board. F, approve golf board recommended hire for Clubhouse Nadine Knapp at $15 per hour. G, approve planning commission, approve building permits and warranty deed for the following: Ansley Erickson at 503 Annan Street for a wood fence and a warranty deed between Joshua Fleming and Christopher Toomey. H, approve deed for cemetery spaces, block 4, lot 4, and spaces 1 through 5 for Tom Gao. I, approve park board, approved location for a 4-foot square pad and flag drop box for the American Legion. J, approve park board recommended hires for seasonal park and cemetery, including Hazel Sims, seasonal full-time $15 per hour, retroactive to a start date of 4/8/28. Ian Anderson, seasonal part-time, 1 to 2 days a week at $15 per hour. Cameron Wasserberger, David Vanderkook, and Mason Haran on call for occasional work if budget allows, if they are available, for a fee of $15 per hour. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you, From, and a second from Dean.
From?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Thank you. Sorry, I'm hunting. Didn't we put the presentation? Oh, she has it at the top of new business. Okay. I was just say did we have goals to move that to the beginning? The presentation of the plaques, did we need to do that?
Oh, she had planned on doing that.
Right, we talked about
Before
that.
the ordinance reports?
Yeah, yeah. I think we plan on doing that right away, so that way you guys had some time. So I'm gonna go ahead and move, item number 11, it's under new business. It's a presentation by David Cleve. Levy, okay, thank you. To the mayor, city council, and law enforcement representative of 2 plaques recognizing officers who died in the line of duty in Crawford. Dave? You can get up and make that happen.
basically, let me give you a little background. My name is David Sleepy. Started off Scottsbluff Police Department, got elected sheriff when I was 28. Ended up running 3 terms and then did not run again and become a school teacher and stuff. And in my research, I ended up finding about how many law enforcement officers had been killed in the state of Nebraska. And so I started a book called Tour Duty End of Watch. Every cop ever killed, to honor them at Grand Island and nationally if we could. And we've been doing that, and what I'm gonna read tonight is actually what is on the Grand Island Law Enforcement Memorial. And a little bit different than the young lady, I know where Crawford, Nebraska is.
We appreciate that.
A little side note, the second interview I ever did in my life was at Crawford State Park. I came and joined the family reunion of the Saxon family, and I was dating my wife to be, and I think they interviewed me to find out, where I was coming from. And I want to tell you personally, and I talk about Crawford being a very, very special place, and you should be commended for what you've done over the years and will continue to do. We started, that was in 1965 or 66. They had already been having family reunions. So we have been currently having family reunions in your park for probably 60 or 70 years. And we come down to all the parades. In fact, I've been in a couple of parades with my Volkswagen thing and stuff, and we do that. We also come back Memorial Day, and we are probably even more consistent coming back from Memorial Day because our family, my wife's family, all started in this area and was some of the earliest people. So it's an honor for
We're
me.
the only family in the park Memorial Day anymore.
So, with that said, I'd love to read this to you so everybody understands what's going on. These are old incidents because my wife felt that a lot of these people were not being recognized. And the first one is Marshal Arthur A. Moss, Crawford, Nebraska, end of watch, May 13th, 1906. Crawford Marshal Arthur A. Moss died from a gunshot wound received about 7:30 on Sunday, May 13th, 1906. Marshal Moss was attempting to disperse a group of soldiers who were drinking beer and began to create a disturbance. When he stepped into the area, one of the soldiers drew his revolver and shot him. He died a short time later. The soldier fled and was later captured. He was found guilty and presented 7 years in the state pen for manslaughter. He was actually 31 years old. He's very lucky because a lot of the people I read about that area, the mob would go get the killer out of jail and hang him. And so he was probably very lucky. So that is the first one. And the second one happened in 1955. Chief of Police Charles Essenbrenner. Crawford Chief of Police Charles Essenbrenner died as a result of a heart attack following a call and arrested a barricade man with hostages. Chief had attempted to negotiate the subject into surrender. When this failed, he called for tear gas. When the canister of tear gas arrived, he decided to throw it through a basement window. By doing this, the suspect fired at the lawman. He was not wounded, but suffered a heart attack and following an attempt on his life. Chief Essenbrenner was 62 years old and survived by his wife, Bertha, and 2 children. And I think when I do my story, that's probably the hardest thing, is survived by a wife and children. And ended their life. And these individuals gave everything for law enforcement in this town and their towns throughout the state of Nebraska. And it's pretty impressive that they would give that. And so we'd be honored to honor them today. I won't even charge you.
Well, there you go, thank you. Well, thank you so much much for contacting us and bringing this to our attention and helping us, remember these individuals that have served our community. That means a lot, so thank you.
We're up to like 15 in the panhandle, so,
Awesome.
and we will continue on if my wife gets more money.
That's so thoughtful of her, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Where will you be cutting those plaques?
I think this is all very
We just.
soon that we've been notified of it. This all happened fairly quick.
That is last year's granddad, Eschenbrenner. So he's got family.
But we're in the middle of considering where we're hoping to move the sheriff's office, so it might come to fruition where it might be in a great place where it can be somewhere where they're at and where the public can come see it too. So, yeah. We'll let you know when we're
It's okay, I'll let Debbie know.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and move back. We'll start with our reports. So if we can start with reports from Park and Cemetery, please.
So I'm going to defer a little bit to our wonderful park employee, because everybody keeps saying, we're the best park in the world, and it's true. So that creates a little bit of problems for us as a board, because we know we have such a great resource, and he does a great job, but he can't do it all by himself. So we spent a bunch of time this last 2 meetings actually thinking about who and how much can we pay people to do stuff. And so we really, I wore out to pencils, seriously, because I know that Miss Terry is going to be looking over her shoulder, and this is the first year of my tenure in the park board that I think I really get the budget. I mean, it was a series of numbers that I had no input on a year ago. I mean, I had no relationship to them. So with your help in helping us understand what we have, we've really tried to work it over. And then we had, better than we expected, applicants. Wow, that's great. We had 3 young people in high school. We had 2 people that had an ability to work a little bit longer. And so we wanted to be able to kind of play with the numbers and everything. So we asked for, actually Kevin was really excited about Hazel Sims coming on. She's got good experience, and then has an ability to work for a long period of time. So, and then we're probably gonna go back with Ian, because he can work 1 or 2 days a week, doesn't bother. And that's great. I did talk with all the kids, and they would work part-time. I mean, if we got a day when, like the cemetery, we got the crosses to go in, is that right? From John Jones's class. So that's gonna be a day to put up a bunch of crosses. And so that's the kind of things that I think that as Kevin works to manage the opportunities we've got with people, plus I think we talked about volunteers as well. So there's a lot going on. And the park board is really, I hesitated to push a little bit on the budget, but I did with April, and she's been very honest with us that there is no more budget to work with. So we're gonna pencil with Terry every pay period, I think, and to watch that. I've asked Kevin to be watchful for the hours that we're expecting the people to work, and so that we keep on track for you and everybody in our city. I will say that we did talk a couple other things. So Crawford Serving Humanities is interested in donating some lighting at the ball fields especially for the September event. And Roger contacted us. They are planning to purchase and install 2 60,000 watt or lumen LED floodlights for the ball field. And they would be in use for them, but they will leave them for us to be able to use. They are, you can move them. So, and there's a light switch at the bottom of the pole. Looks like they'll be on first and third base is what they've looked at. They'll be adjustable up, and that 40 to 50 foot high is where they'll be now. He said that's a lot of lumens, and sometimes people complain about the light, but we can turn it off. So they will also have a dawn to dusk floodlight for the new flagpole that's going in out there as well. And when we were looking at, the lights that don't work, we asked them if they could squeeze in their budget the bulbs to replace on those lights that are not currently working. We talked with Jared, had Kevin call Jared, and so he said, you know, I just haven't had time to get out and look at the ballasts and stuff, and he said, it's probably okay to go ahead and put those bulbs in. So, no cost to you guys, they will get those lighting pieces put together. I'm really excited about that. So, more stuff to add to our beautiful city. Questions?
Well, thank you, Jennifer Nixon, that's wonderful to hear you guys working with others and getting those donations to come into the city where we can help them and let them help us, so we appreciate it. Library.
Good evening, everyone. So, March marked a lovely fair weather uptick in library numbers and usage. We had 501 patronages and visits. We had 45 computer lab uses versus 30 the prior month. And we circulated 352 materials in the library to include 60 DVDs, 136 ebooks and audiobooks, and 23 digital audiovisual materials. Upcoming events that we have, well, the library has an event kind of coming up this Thursday. We're actually going to be closing early at 4 o'clock this Thursdays because, one, we were nominated as the business/attraction of the year at the Discover Northwest Nebraska's Treasure Chest of the Northwest event. So we're going to have a booth at that event and participate in their activities that evening. But will be otherwise open from noon to 4 p.m. that day. The next event for patrons will be April 21st at 5 o'clock here at the library. It's trivia night. The theme will be folklore and mythology. So we're excited for that as well. Crochet Knitting Club continues on April 24th at 1:30. Reading group will be on May 1st. It's usually the first Friday of a month, so May 1st is going to be a lovely May Day. The Friends of the Library's next meeting will be May 5th at 12. And the next Board of Trustees meeting will be May 11th at 12 p.m. as well. On to more topical things. So I've mentioned before that the library was awarded an internship grant from the Nebraska Library Commission. And just to give everybody a refresher on what that entails, it's really meant to open up librarianship as a possible career path for young people. It's specifically geared to high school and college students. And it gives them a place where they can have real-world hands-on experience with that kind of stuff. And it's also lovely, an extra pair of hands to help during one of our busiest times of the year, which is summer reading program. So the internship would last from June 1st to July 31st. But applications and flyers have been shared with the local high schools, the college, online, various places, and there's applications that are available here at the library or on our website. So if you have any questions about that or know of someone who might, send them my way. I'd be very happy to talk to them about it. A fun update on the library's AC situation. So when I last spoke to the council, I said that I would look into quotes, options for what that cost would be and where we might be able to have it done. And I got 3 quotes back from MPC Heating and Cooling, Fire and Ice Mechanical, and one that's kind of new to the region, Holmes Home Heating and Cooling. So I got those 3 quotes back. They ranged from $5,900 to $4,850, and I presented that to our friends group actually, and they agreed to pay the full cost of the replacement of the equipment, and we collectively decided to go with the Holmes Home quote, which was the $4,850, not just because it was the lowest quote, but also it had twice the warranty of either of the other quotes. So where the other 2 had a 5-year parts warranty and a 1-year labor warranty, the other quote had a 10-year parts warranty and a 2-year labor warranty. So a great shout out of gratitude is due to the friends for assisting with such an important aspect of library operation. On to services development. just to give you guys an update on the new library management system that we got and the new MFD. They're awesome, they're working wonderfully, they have really smooth transition periods. All the vendors that we've been working with are wonderful and very helpful. And patrons have been responding immediately positively between the quality of both services and all the new features that they have afforded to them as well. At this point in the fiscal year, we actually have also earned enough print proceeds to cover the remainder of the lease for this fiscal year. So everything after this is profit essentially. I do intend, because there are so many new features that just haven't been available before, I do intend to create video content, YouTube videos, that can be linked to the library's website and our Facebook and our YouTube channel, of course, that explain how to take advantage of these new features from home, from your phones, and that sort of thing. So plenty more to come on that later. Regarding collection development, there's been a lot of new, exciting placement and arrangement projects happening in the library. We're trying to develop sections in a better way so people can find things. The recent most section being developed is a dedicated large print section. So between that, our new display style for our DVD section, and then a revamped early reader and junior reader chapter book sections as well. And then lastly, for program development, so the Cultivate You was a program that I was trying to introduce this year as a personal and professional development series. Due to a lack of response from possible presenters and attendees, I'm gonna kind of put a stopper on that program as a regular program for now. I still really am invested in that concept, so I'll be continuing to reach out to possible presenters and just taking them up when they're available rather than having a set series. So while that one is continuing to adapt and evolve and develop, the Beloved History Talk series, on the other hand, is in its final stages of preparation. So this is usually a local history-oriented series that takes place either sometime in spring usually. And this spring, it's going to be a late spring walking tour about the architectural history of Crawford, especially downtown. So the tentative date we've set for that will be May 17th at 2 p.m., which is a Sunday. And then if the weather's not with us, we've planned for the following Sunday at the same time. So we're very excited about that program. That's one of our most requested and popular events. And lastly, the summer reading program theme this year will be Unearth a Story, in line with the national theme as well. So that'll orient itself around paleontology, archaeology, geoscience, and that kind of stuff. So dinosaurs, cool minerals, and what a perfect theme for us here at this point in the country. Most of the program has already been designed. I'm just making final arrangements and touches, but I've streamlined it based on prior experience to be really impactful and potent while considering my anticipated capacity by that time and the presence of an intern for the duration of it. So unless there are any questions for me, that is my report.
Thank you, Ashley. Congratulations on Thursday's announcement, and thank you to the friends. Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to ordinances and resolutions. Number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove resolution 2026-08 regarding the completed survey of the cemetery's new addition as prepared by Panhandle Land Surveying. And this is just something that we need to accept as a final.
Yeah, I guess so.
That it's been completed. So if I have a motion for that.
Because he completed it.
Because it is currently, right.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm sorry, Kevin.
So are they gonna be pulling flags out there, or are they done, or?
Do you have any?
Last I heard was they still had a few more rebar to put into the ground. They had run into some hard ground.
That's odd.
There was a few they couldn't get in. So they said they'd come back and do those few that were left, but other than that, I understood they were pretty much done.
Okay, well, if they're done, we're pulling their flags, but if they're not, we'll leave their flags, so
Okay.
we need to find out. if
We'll
they're
follow
done
up
or
there.
Wow.
not. I'm
We
serious.
need a flag for a little while.
Or no more.
I'll call
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve
Thank you, Dean.
resolution 2026-08.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second, okay.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
From?
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll move on to number 7, discuss, approve, disapprove passage and adoption of resolution 2026-06 that allows for the collection of delinquent water rental, sewer rental, and use charges to be assessed against the real estate as a special assessment on the following property: Block 16, Lot 6, Addition Paddocks. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve 2026-06.
I will second that.
Thank you, Dean, and then from, roll call.
Dean?
Yes.
From?
Yes.
Gaston?
Thank you. I'll have a couple of these the same here. 8, discuss, approve, disapprove passage and adoption of resolution 2026-07 that allows for the collection of delinquent water rental, sewer rental, and use charges to be assessed against the real estate as a special assessment on the following property: Block J, Block 13, Addition, Brispens. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept resolution number 2026-07.
From, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dean, and roll call.
From?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Thank you. Number 9, discuss, approve, disapprove passage and adoption of resolution 2026-09 that allows for the collection of delinquent water rental, sewer rental, and use charges to be assessed against the real estate as a special assessment on the following property: Block 21, Lot 9, Addition PTC 2nd. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-09.
Thank you, Dean. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Gaston, roll call.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
From?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 10, discuss, approve, disapprove passage and adoption of resolution 2026-10 that allows for the collection of the delinquent water rental, sewer rental, and use charges to be assessed against the real estate as a special assessment on the following property: Block J, Lot 13, Addition, Brispens. Do I have a motion?
Isn't that the same as 8?
No, it's a
No.
different block. Oh, I'm sorry, it does look like the same.
Except the description's the same?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think we better hold off on that.
We'll have to, as I say, it probably needs more specific. Do we have anything in the? Thank you for that catch. 'Cause it is, I thought maybe one of the locks was different. Let's see, 10. Yeah, it's a different.
It should be block
39, okay. And lot 5 and 6. So it's still,
You wanna amend?
yeah,
We have to make.
is it still,
Make
it's
the
block?
We move to amend it to block this legal.
I move that we amend, was it 2026-10 to block 39, lot 5 and 6 and block 39, PTC 5th addition to the original town property.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dean and Franz, roll call.
From?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
And Gaston?
Thank you for the assistance there. All right, number 12, discuss, approve, disapprove, request
You need to
for,
approve the resolution.
You need to prove that as amended.
oh, as amended,
So
oh, okay,
I'll make that motion, we approve as amended.
as amended, okay.
Resolution 2026-10.
I'll second it.
From?
Thank you.
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
All right,
So if I do 2 motions on that, then
Well, one was,
One's an
amendment.
One's amendment to the resolution.
Okay.
and then the approval of the amendment,
You have to prove the final resolution as amended.
okay. Thank you for the catch. All right, well,
Thank you.
yeah.
yes, thank you also. So we wouldn't have got that. We already completed number 11, so we will move down to 12 and under new business. Discuss, approve, disapprove the request for utility bill consolidation for the following locations: 412, 420, 424, and 428 on 2nd Street, which is also commonly known as the Arcade Building. A presentation by Patricia Province.
I make a motion, we approve
the bill consolidation for Patricia Province and the arcade building.
Let her do a presentation first. Oh, gotcha. Oh, we have to work with them. Right, because we corrected it too.
So, this is just kind of a letter, and I'm gonna read part of it, because I'm not a great public speaker, but anyway. So yes, my husband and I own, what is known as the arcade building at, the lots of 412, 420, 424, 428 on Second Street. Since 2023, it's been billed, under one billing, as a, we would like to resume that. It's been, since the fall of 2023. So the arcade building encompasses 412, 420, 424, 428, and is currently under active redevelopment as a single integrated commercial property. Since October 2023, the city has accommodated us consolidating billing under one account during this renovation period. We appreciate this cooperation. At present, the building has one active water connection. It has one bathroom, one sink, and has very limited utility usage, consistent with a construction and rehabilitation phase. The remaining spaces are not independently occupied service or capable of separate utility demand, nor do we anticipate renting them out in that capacity, like separately, like it had been being done in the past. That's not our plan. So for these reasons, we respectfully request that the city continue consolidated utility billing under a single account, reflecting the building's current use as one redevelopment project, or in the alternative, classify the building addresses as inactive or non-active service units during the renovation period with reduced or suspended base charges. This is grounded in the principle that the utility building should reasonably correspond to actual service delivery and with infrastructure use, rather than historically addressing that which does not reflect current conditions. The request is granted. We're going to evaluate and look into the formal process of basically consolidating the property into one address. So as a long-term redevelopment plan, which would further align the property with a single service unit. So I thank you for looking into this and considering this.
So you're saying that's the goal of the property in the
Yes.
long term is to have one address?
Yes, and it's not, we've never intended it to be, as it was, like a vet office, commercial, insurance, things like that. Our vision is that it would be an event center, it'd be a place of rest and restoration, however, that healing center, whatever. We have a lot of ideas. It's taken a lot of work. The building was neglected for years. Of course, that's our issue. But we have put some we have done re-electrical work. We have, that's mainly what we've done, but we have done a lot of demolition. The property needs a lot of work, but we have a vision, and we're hoping that the city can continue to help us in that way, keeping it under one usage.
So county assessors has that as 4 different.
And the starting process of that would be with the county.
With
Is
the
there
county.
any reason why they
This
couldn't
assessor
apply
is-
for that to be?
The assessor at the 911.
Right.
Supervisor.
So is there any,
It's the same person.
right, is there any way they could just apply for that now
Once they get that.
with the county? And then it's, because once it's approved by the county, it's
It's a non-issue.
recognized by the city.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is we're gonna run into issues with forgiveness with Swan. I have a meeting later this week, but.
It's no bit different than what we went through with Dory.
Right.
So once you get it replatted, and you get it platted out, that this is one building, which I'm good with, I don't have it, it makes common sense. But you have got to go through the proper channels. I don't think the city's
I'd be willing to do a continuance on the agreement that we currently have
Pending,
pending
updating it with the assessor.
with the
within a
assessor's
certain amount
office,
of
yeah.
time.
That's reasonable.
I would put a time, I mean, give
I
them,
would give a deadline,
Give
yeah,
a
because we've
deadline
already
on it.
given 2.5 years.
right. So I'm willing to do that,
Mhm.
pending that it gets, it gets addressed within 6 months, a year. We really need to set down and set parameter on some of this stuff, because we have, these are gonna be issues.
Well,
So-
right, because we've already, I mean,
Right,
this
we've
is not,
already
this is a
we've already
redo of
said-
what we've already set. And
Right.
We gave
A
We
year.
gave 2 years and then
2
didn't
years,
even, take it away until 2.5, so.
So we need to set down and have this as a, but I agree with you, I guess.
How long
What-
does
what-
a process like that take?
That I don't know, you're gonna have to talk to the assessor about that.
So that's a county assessment,
County
Sharon?
assessor, yeah, Lindy Coleman. She is also, I believe, the 911, I think she handles both.
Because she's called the office to clarify a couple addresses before.
Yeah,
so I would say-
So she would be the one that would then officially recognize it as one, back to one address is what you're wanting, back to
Yes.
one address.
So if we give them a continuance up to a year, I mean, maybe we should wait and see, come back and see, give us a timeline of what they're
Okay.
looking like. You think?
Cause I don't know how long.
I don't know how long
I
it's
don't know
gonna-
how long it's
Yeah.
gonna take for that. I don't think long, but I don't wanna speak for her at all.
Yeah, and I think we table this until they come back and give us a time.
We'll just continue what you're doing.
Well, it's,
So,
Well, why, would it be unreasonable to say 6 months?
oh, to me, no, but I
If
can't
that's-
speak for her. 6 months is
yeah,
fine.
I have no idea.
If there's a problem with 6 months, you can come back and let this board know.
I think that's fair, yeah. You?
I don't get to vote on this.
No. You?
I'm good with it.
So I move that we give her a continuance for 6 months, to bill as one property. At such time that, in the meantime, we need to come back with a flat.
If it's fixed, then we'll know. and then-
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you,
So that's your motion?
Yeah.
thank you.
Ron?
Yes.
Second?
Oh, yeah, second.
Jean, roll call? Ron?
Yes.
Jean?
Yeah.
Yes. 13, discuss approve, disapprove contracting with 5 Rule, we're supposed to remove that, please. All right, 14, discuss approve, disapprove selling shares in Principal Financial Group Incorporated. Could you help us understand that, Terry?
So, at some time, a long time ago, when it was still Crawford,
Before we move to Crawford.
we had an insurance policy at some point that bought shares. We've been getting offers to buy those shares from that company, and it's like $6,000 some odd dollars. And it's really something we should do, my suggestion is that we just cash it in and put it towards, I mean, it's something that's been out there for years.
Just a loose end for selling.
Just from an old insurance policy.
So is it drawing interest, or is it accruing
Yeah,
interest?
it's drawing some interest,
How
but,
much is that?
did we put a copy of it in here?
I think so, it looks like this here.
I couldn't see it.
I read it as Pokemon, but it's not, it's
Yeah, I've got it, I don't see the
It looks like
interest.
Pokemon.
I don't see where it
It's not a
says.
ton of interest, and we don't have a lot of information on it.
Okay.
We often will get, hey, you've earned $140 on it, that kind of thing, and then we've gotten this, I think they're tired of dealing with the paperwork of it too, and have offered to just buy it out.
So,
And that's like $6,800.
and you just wanna put it in the general fund then? I would have to.
Yeah, that would be my suggestion. As you'll hear on the treasurer's report, it could go to me personally, but.
I suggest park fund.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I go through the park.
Plenty of issues in place, I didn't,
That would be some labor.
we like with it, it's, we've, as you'll hear on the treasurer's report, we've gotten the reallocation of funds done. And you could ultimately split it into the funds that are, you know, and divvy it up that way. That could be one way we do it with that, or we just take it back in and put it
Or leave it in the general fund, so we actually have cash flow, so we can pay bills.
What is cash
Typically, we would have to
flow?
go into general fund.
Anyway, that's, it's just this hanging out thing that just shows up every once a year. And so I thought instead of just signing that we would take it, you guys should make that decision and decide if you want it to just keep hanging out there or go ahead and receive the
If
funds.
I'm reading this right,
Did
and I
they pay
don't,
for
go ahead.
first year?
It would actually cover the first year of that program.
What was it, an insurance program or?
Our special meeting, cause their annual cost is $6,500 and this is $6,800. So it would cover that, we would have to figure out a way to cover that.
There you go.
pay 2/3.
It would be the gift that keeps giving.
I mean, are we in a hurry to cash this because we figure out what's going on? Because they're only offering to pay, if I'm reading this right, 2/3 of it is what they're buying back. Or we're getting priced 2/3 for, we, offers 500,000 shares, their offer to purchase is 3,600,
No,
364.
That's the whole amount of shares they're buying back.
Yeah.
There's a
Total
total
offer
Total
of
amount is like
500,000.
So how many shares we have?
which I don't
They're
see
buying
as
back all the shares from everybody's, that's what they bought back to date.
From everybody else.
Mhm.
Gotcha, okay.
Doesn't tell us what the shares are worth.
Yeah,
And the second page should have been on there, it's
No,
not,
I mean,
but that
per
was like
share.
68.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
Broke it down to how
The
many
traded
have
value.
Gotcha.
it's not that much
It's a
money, but at
cash
the same
discount.
time, how long has it been in it? Are you talking 10 years, you talking
More
100
than, I
years?
think, more than 10 years.
So
It's
obviously there ain't very
pre-Jane.
much.
Right?
As, yeah, I'm making things a lot harder than they are, but I would like to have more information, I guess, so. I'm okay with it if we can figure out where we're gonna put it, I just don't wanna just.
It's
from
from 2012,
What's that?
it's from 2012.
It would pay the first year of the five-year-old planning thing that we just watched.
There you go.
And if you
Good
remember,
idea.
we had something called Star Mark
Plus-
back
Plus
then.
the turning fee, 30.
That's a great idea. That's a great
Just saying,
idea.
I heard that.
I'm good with it, if we can apply it to that, if we so decide to do that. Then
Okay. Do we have enough for a motion?
yeah, I'll make you, let you make the motion. I'll move that we go ahead and cash those in and use, apply that, if so applicable, toward,
The revitalization or the
Vacancy.
vacancy.
Okay.
And if that doesn't go through,
If it doesn't go through, right,
then we can use
we
it
can
just.
readdress it, we'll just go to the
It's going
general
in the
fund.
general fund.
Okay,
You're
thank
counting
you.
until you go in the general fund.
Thank
Oh,
you. That's where I wanted it.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the selling of the shares. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So from
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 15, discuss approve, disapprove the presented surplus list from the city departments. Sorry, that word did not look right.
I guess I would have questions at this stage of the game. So we got the list.
Mhm.
Some of it can be taken to a place that'll buy it, junk wire, that kind of thing. Others of it can be sold. There's stuff that's in a good place to be sold. How does this, I don't know how we go about it. Now that we have the list.
We surplus it tonight and you decide how to sell it. How
I
you-
do.
Well, no, they decide.
I need the $6,800 so that. I
You can have an auction, you can junk it if it's not worth anything. In the past, they've had, I don't know, they've had auctions, you don't have enough stuff, I don't think, to have an auction, but you can take silent bids, sealed bids.
Yeah, there's some
That's,
good
the
stuff
county
in
just
there.
did sealed bids for like 10 things, and
you list.
Well, I see,
But you advertise it.
for City Hall, we have an old monitor that's broken and 6 old phones that are mostly broken.
Some of that
Pretty
just-
sure.
some of that
Don't
just-
fight over it.
That just needs to go to the dump.
Yeah.
Right.
But the park side now, they're talking, my realm.
Well, if they're, if,
There it is.
Now the-
We also have the-
It has your.
We
Yeah.
also have the,
The 12 gauge shotgun, we have to, that has
That's
to
in my
be
office.
sold through, an FFL.
yeah, I'm not sure we can.
Where do we get it gun?
It's
was-
left over from the days when we had a
we had
police
a police
department.
department.
Oh, okay.
The sheriff's office was tired of storing
Yeah,
it,
that's
so
gonna
they
have to go-
allowed us to have it
that's gonna have
back.
to go to the-
So
We
we
should
get
We
have-
creative.
don't normally have a gun, I don't think.
Correct, correct. We don't allow the ladies to carry in the office. Although maybe they need to.
The first thing I do is do the surplus tonight, and then sit down and figure out if there's stuff that you wanna sell, if there's stuff that you wanna dispose of, and then come back with a plan for
So
the
this
council.
is just a general
You're just-
approval.
you're just
You're not
surplus.
necessarily approving things that are on the list tonight.
You're surplusing everything on the list.
So if there's something you don't want surplus, we need to remove it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
the helmets, Kevin, are they from Crawford? The
Yes.
fireman's helmets, can we donate those? I think they need
They're
to
in
go
the-
to the museum.
Barb already said she would.
Okay, that's already been addressed, okay, perfect, that's the only thing
And
I
you
don't
can
think
still
needs to be on the
surplus them and
surplus.
then donate them, you have that ability.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So my question is, I think the same question that the mayor has. On the 60-inch mowers, I'm not sure, Kevin,
That means we have to get rid of them.
that we want to surplus them just yet. For myriad reasons, one being, you're using one of them for parts right now, so you might have to use another one for parts, just to keep the third one going. What we talked about yesterday, those could be utilized for,
Voluntary coverage.
property, well, not abatement, but,
Complaint.
yeah. So I don't think that we should surplus the mowers just yet.
Or the weed trimmers, if they work, but, yeah, I agree.
Do the weed trimmers work, Kevin?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
The weed trimmers.
Not for very.
There's one that does not work.
The rest of them do?
Frozen.
There was like 3 of them on there, wasn't there?
There's 3
There's
hedgers.
yeah, there's hedgers
There's
and
a
they're
chainsaw.
brand new.
The hedges are brand new.
They're a piece of equipment that were bought that have
We've
never
never
been used.
used. Okay. And then there's a 16-inch chainsaw, a steel handheld blower, and then the Honda trimmer.
So all that would be,
I think I put on there functional or non-functional, or maybe I didn't.
I don't have it.
I've not seen those words.
And they also,
Well, we don't need.
what we're
all
meaning,
the hedges, just one of them would be great, but I mean, you can go through it.
I'm not sure that the dorm fridges would be utilized at, City Hall, maybe.
They've already got.
We got one.
Don't you?
Well, if
Me
we
too.
move them over, they would like one.
So these are all pieces of equipment or items that I have no use for.
Sure.
It's up to whoever decides what to do with them.
If they're gonna just make it intercity transfer, you don't want surplus.
Right.
Surplusing is we're getting rid of
Get
it,
rid of
some
it.
way, somehow, we're
Shouldn't
getting
the
rid of it.
fireman helmets go to the fire department?
They did,
They're
those are
not
ones they
theirs,
didn't want, and that they didn't
but
want.
the museum wants them.
Yes,
Oh,
museum,
cool.
they're old enough
So
that
you
it's not,
can
they're not
surplus
all
those
of them.
and then donate them,
Oh.
that's fine. If Kevin has stuff he doesn't want, but downtown wants it, don't surplus it, just take it down.
I have a truck that I don't want.
I need a hedge trimmer in my office.
Thank you for a shotgun.
Is it a double barrel or?
I guess the shotgun go to the museum.
And it's not.
It's
It's
not
not
historic.
Wow.
It was evidence. Or, no, actually, it was probably, they used it in the police department, when we had one here.
How did we acquire a dentist chair?
It's one of those departments that got cut over time.
Well, I'm okay with most of this, other than the yard work stuff, and I would like to address that a little bit.
Do you need another 2 weeks to go through your list? I mean, there's no push on this.
Yeah,
I just wanted to be right.
I would like to, and we've got some other issues, things we wanna address, so if you don't
You wanna just
mind,
table,
let's
do
just
it
table
next?
it until the next
Okay.
meeting. So we kind
And then
of.
you can no action. You can think about how you might wanna suggest it.
Sure. So we'll go ahead and take
Then
no
they-
action on
Then they can give you
15.
suggestions on how to sell it too, when they serve.
Marketplace.
Marketplace.
Oh, there's gonna be some.
Amazon, here we
The
come.
dumb.
Charity's garage sale.
Okay, we'll take no action on item 15, please. Number 16, discuss, approve, disapprove annual renewal of HACH, H-A-C-H Service Partnership.
Is there any reason why not?
May I ask what those abbreviations mean?
Hawk is the company that provides the equipment. This equipment continuously monitors the disinfectant level in our water and also the turbidity, meaning the cloudiness or particulate matter in the water. This contract is not just a service agreement, it's also an insurance policy. If we were to be maintaining this equipment ourselves, we would still, once a year, probably need to call a Hawk technician to come out for about $3,000 or $4,000 to do firmware updates that we don't have access to do. The reagents and chemicals we need to do the calibrations run about $4,000 or $5,000 a year. And the extra equipment we would need to have on the shelf would probably hit us for another $16,000 just to have in case something breaks. Now, if something does go bad or breaks, our service contract would cover the replacement of these parts within 5 days. And if the technician makes a mistake and messes up that equipment will be replaced for free that day off of his truck, instead of, if we happen to make a mistake, that might hit us for $10,000 to $20,000 worth of very sensitive monitoring.
Don't do it then.
We have been over these guys' shoulders for 2 years. We are constantly learning and watching. We have a very good handle on how the equipment works. It's just, there's too many benefits to not going with these guys. I know that we've brought this Hawk contract up a lot. We had a lot of different equipment that was bought in stages, and then they all had service agreements that were in stages. This now kind of smushes it all together, and it'll be every April, and it'll give us 4 visits on the 4 turbidity monitors that we have. It'll give us 2 visits on each of the controllers that monitor, or the three controllers. It'll be 2 visits a year for firmware updates and calibration. And then our disinfectant monitor will be serviced twice a year, to include replacement of all the wear and tear parts on the interior.
How long have you been using them, Edward?
Of these machines. These machines, we have.
This company.
Oh, this company was in use before I started working here.
We just entered into this contract 1 year ago.
Has it not been budgeted in every year?
It is budgeted in for this year, yes.
So what we're considering for the total for this next year is $8,467 for
That would
the
be
annual.
from this
How would
April
that compare
next
to
April.
last year? Right. How would that compare to this last year? Is there a lot of change since we've,
No.
because we've combined?
It's
It's just
so
one
now
contract
that
now
it's
instead of
one
multiple.
contract, it's actually come down a little bit because everything's consolidated.
Okay.
We're not sending guys out all the time.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Thank you, Fromm. Dean?
From,
Yes.
Dean,
Yeah.
Gaston.
Thank you. Number 17, discuss, approve, disapprove the treasurer's report.
You're right.
So, I just got it pointed out, so on the first page of the treasurer's report, we've always put in this little diagram that shows how much in the negative we were to water. So the amount of was, $246,000. Well, if you look at March's, you can see we've got everything allocated now, and we are at 54,642.
That's awesome progress.
After reallocating 3 years on the insurances that were, and other things that were not, split out to the different departments, general was carrying everything. Now we actually, it makes sense now, I mean, we were struggling to try to understand how it just keeps going badly, and that was a big problem.
We'd be excited to have a negative 54,000, but good job, way to
Us,
go.
Right?
That's way better than us, thank
I
you.
know. I know, it's not zero, but it feels like zero.
Yeah,
But
that's a
anyway,
big
it's
number
huge,
change.
It's a big
Thank you
step.
for that effort. Yeah,
It
that's
was
a
a lot
big
of work,
difference.
and Jane was a big part of helping us find all of that, and
Yeah.
because we just kept, why? And when we finally saw what had happened and was uncovering it, then we were able to fix it all and make adjustments. Now, there is something which, the, adjusting journal entries that we've been doing with the auditor, we still got a couple, that we're still trying to get. On the second page, I pointed this out before, that there's a couple differences there that kind of midway on the page. And when that shows on your report, it says there's something wrong, your bank totals don't equal to your general ledger totals. We were at 68, 40, 14, forever. And as we've been fixing the journal entries, we're almost got that fixed and cleaned up so that it'll be a clean slate, matching numbers with the auditor, matching numbers on our end.
Wonderful.
So it's definitely a lot of progress.
Congratulations.
It's a big win.
What a difference.
It don't mean we got flush money, but it means I
No,
can
but
transfer
real numbers,
funds and-
real numbers means we can make do with the money we have.
Might be able to take a go later.
Well, thank you, that's taken a lot of hard work, and we appreciate all that you guys have put through and the investigative time that it takes to track that all down and to
Just
redistribute it
come
and
to do
correct it.
another audit. Coming at the end of the June.
Well, as long as those auditors don't steal you guys away, because you're becoming professionals, we'll be good.
That's not gonna happen.
I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Ron, and roll call.
Dean,
Yes.
Ron,
Yeah.
Gaston.
I have a motion to approve, sorry, we'll move to 18, approve bills and claims, requisition orders and transfers. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Ron, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dean, roll call.
Ron,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Gaston.
Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Dean, second.
Shortest council ever.
Second for adjournment. Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Yes.
Did you bring that?
Thank you so much.
I did bring
I
this
thought
up.
there was something, but
Yes.
I'm so glad you asked me.
they had like a cheese
And I- we need
small
that.
kid, right?
Yes.
We're just confident here.
No, don't tear it up.
Jay,
So, we had a
is that,
cleanup day.
are you okay? with
Yes,
that?
that's very good. Good work, thank you.
Bring it.
Okay, one for Bobcat Rock.
Tough.